Hi, my name is Akaite Elizabeth, and I'm the founder at Set on the Hill. So, today we are going to talk about how to prepare for an in person audition. Our last video talked about how to do a self tape audition. Now, we're going to talk about the differences and how to prepare for an in person audition. So, let's get started. All right, so number one is that on an in-person audition, something you need to know is that casting is going to film you, and casting is going to film you horizontally. So, what you need to know is where to look. Don't be distracted by where the reader is, where the director is. Um, they're not going to be on your eye level because you're going to be standing most of the time. So, you're not trying to look at the director or the reader, you are looking at the camera. And so look for the camera, and that's where you're acting towards. So an in-person audition might feel like a self-tape audition because you are acting to the camera. All right. So why? The casting department wants to know what you look like on camera. All right, not in person. So this is different from drama or on-stage theater where you're trying to really connect with the audience, right? This audition, you're still focused on that camera. Theatrical, for film, TV, series, web series, or anything theatrical, you should look slightly to the left or to the right of the camera lens. So wherever the camera is, you want to look slightly to the left or to the right of the lens. You're not looking directly into it, all right? We should still see your entire face. So cheat camera. So even though I'm looking here, I'm cheating camera. And the focus is, I really want you to see my face. I really want you to see my face. Every movement I do, I want you to see my eyes. Okay. So there is this one kids show, and I just couldn't help, but there was one character, she just kept looking down the whole time. She just wasn't aware where her eyes were in relation to the camera. And so you really have to be aware that even if you're looking down and you're sad, that you tilt your head up a little so that we can see your face, we can see your eyes. So be sure to cheat camera. All right. And when you're doing a commercial audition, yes, you look directly into the camera. So you can look directly into the camera for a commercial audition. Next, for an in-person audition, know your lines. All right, we've changed some of the rules a little bit, but you're still going to find some productions where you show up, the script is different, or you show up and they give you more or new lines and you need to memorize it on the spot. You have 10 minutes. Don't be intimidated. They know you just got the script. All right. But as with an in-person audition, the same way as a self-tape, you should strive to memorize your lines. All right. So there are times where production will ask you to paraphrase lines or to improvise. But unless you're asked specifically to do this, you should aim to have your lines to be word perfect. If you're doing a self-tape that the good news is you can pause and re-record, but with the in-person, it's a little different. So if it's a last minute audition and you need to hold the script in your hand, especially if they only gave you like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. If they gave you more than 20 minutes, you should have memorized whatever lines they gave you. But you can have the script in your hands. But what I want you to do is memorize the first and the last line. So the first line, you're saying it to the side of the camera. The other lines, I'm looking at the script. And the final line, I'm looking to the side of the camera and finishing off showing my face. All right. So if possible, don't try to hold the script too far down. You might want to hold it up, but don't let it cover your face from wherever the camera is. All right. You might be trying to fight where the producers are and the people watching you. Focus on the camera. Keep it out of the way of the camera. So somewhere like here or right here, you're holding the script so you can look up. You can talk to your dialogue partner, which is your camera. It will be great. A reader. Next thing you need to know about an in-person audition is your reader. A reader will read all of the other characters. All right. in the scene. So they're going to play this person, that person, the other person. So don't be thrown when they just keep going. All right. A couple things that you need to know about this reader. During the audition, sometimes there could be no reader. There might be no reader and they just want you to skip and go to the next thing. 2, you might get a non-actor reader will be provided. That means the reading is going to be bad and they're just going to be reading really monotone, really boring, no inflection. They're going to read this character, read the next character with no stopping. You have to really know your script. So this is where our next tip comes in. Read the entire script. Don't just read your lines. Read the entire script. Know what the last word is in the character before you start. You need to know that last phrase. All right. Number 3, you need to know about your reader is a virtual call reader may be provided. So sometimes you might have someone virtually watching you and they might be your reader. So just know, 1, you might have no reader. So you might have to just do your lines and skip through, but they still want you to react to what the other person would have been saying. Keep that in mind. You might get a non-actor reader. And that reader is going to be saying all of the lines of all of the characters. All right. And number 3, you might have a virtual reader. So the reader is not always an actor. The reader is not there to engage the scene, but to let the actor shine. The read can be very basic, so don't get distracted by a neutral reader. Sometimes no reader is provided. Other times a reader will only read in English. Let's say there's a role in Spanish and English, or it's all in Spanish or all in Ibibio, Korean, or in Yoruba. The reader may only read it in English. So keep that in mind. They still want you to speak in Spanish, your lines, or speak in Korean, your lines. But the reader might only speak in English. So keep that in mind and don't be thrown by that. So be ready for all scenarios by knowing the last sentence of the character before they read the next dialogue. And typically, if it's multilingual, it's going to have the English and the second language on there at the same time. So you should know what the last word is that the other person is saying. And again, in between, keep the script high and react to what they're saying. So act out the actions and react to the scene. In a script, there's dialogue and then there's action lines. All right. An action line is written to describe the people, places, props, and sounds. Casting wants to see you interact with the props, imaginary props or actual props. So if they give you the script beforehand, bring your own props. You might say, isn't that their job? It's your job. Bring all your own props. You might have an imaginary prop, pretend that it's a person. You might have a substitute prop. So there could be imaginary props, substitute props, or actual props. A substitute prop might be a hand towel instead of a bandage. An actual prop, you might have a mug instead of to drink water out of. All right. And make sure if there is any beverage in the script that you always only put water in it. Never put the actual beverage that they're describing. All right. So, no, your reader does not read the actions out loud. They don't. They just give you time and space for you to act out the lines. You might be saying, why are they pausing? Why are they giving me so much space? Because maybe you were supposed to do an action there or act it out. Or if they don't give you a pause and space, let them know when they give you the second take. Hey, will you give me some space here? It shows that I walk in or that I do some action. Okay, the script details that the actor walks in and out of the scene. You don't necessarily have to do that. A simple one step forward or one step to the side is sufficient. All right. So don't think that you're actually walking all the way in and walking all the way out. Again, they want you on camera the entire time. The whole purpose of the audition, self-tape or in person, is to keep you on camera. Because even if you're walking in and out, they're going to see your face. if we're actually filming you, we would see you walk in, we would see you walk out. This is my camera, my imaginary camera, right? So we don't want you going off screen unless it actually says that the actor completely walks off screen, all right? Where the camera stays still and the actor walks off screen. But a simple step forward and step to the side is all you need. Slate. If a slate is requested, you might be prompted on what to say. Typically, they'll tell you what to say if you're in person. A typical slate is simply you introducing yourself in your natural voice. So there might be characters where you have an accent of some sort, but you're using your natural voice here. Now, sometimes if it's really charactery and you want to stay in character the whole time, you might use that character voice, but sometimes they just want to hear your normal voice. So production, us, and we're going to film it horizontally and frame the camera from the middle of your chest to 1 inch above your head, typically. So there's no need to turn or show profiles. So for Set on a Hill, we might ask you to say, hi, my name is, I'm represented by, say your agency name, I live in, say your city and state, and I am, and then say your height, all right? Full body slate. For a full body slate, if you're asked, show your full body slate, you're going to do a 360 turn. That means turning all the way around in a circle, all the way around, all right? 360 degrees. All right, keep in mind that sometimes casting just wants 5 seconds of your full body shot. You're just standing there with your full body shot. So you want to just stand there and smile. If your character is serious, you might just stand there and not smile, just smile with your eyes. So let them know that there's different sides to you because your character has different sides. All right. So a typical scene is The Godfather, right? Where he's stroking the cat, right? Showing love to the cat while talking about doing bad things to the people that hurt his daughter, right? Really bad things to them. He's being kind, really kind and caring while he's talking about going and getting revenge, right? So there's a dynamic to your character that there are times where they're going to smile. There are things that are going to make them happy, even if they're a serious character like the character in The Godfather. So just keep your hands to your side, feet shoulder width apart, and you're just smiling. So different smiles. Closed mouth, and then show your teeth. So never be afraid to show your teeth. A lot of productions really love your teeth. They already know what they look like and they chose you for them. So never show shyness in showing your teeth or showing your smile. Get very comfortable with modeling on camera, even as an actor. Hair and makeup tips. So hair and makeup for an in-person audition. For boys, I would say, okay, so for everyone, for hair and makeup, make sure, for hair specifically, make sure your hair is washed that day, blow dried, and then it has product on it, whether that's gel, mousse, or creams. Your hair needs product on it. For boys, your hair can be gelled back, curled with a curling iron. If it's long hair, pull it back into a bun. That's for us. Depending on what you submitted, what headshot you submitted, they may be expecting the hair that you submitted for your headshot. But just ask if your hair changes often. For girls, in our productions, we have several hair types that work, from pigtails that are curled hair that's down, blow-dried hair straight and flat ironed, to high buns, a side ponytail that's curled so we can see it. So sometimes the ponytail in the back, you can't see it. So we might want it slightly to the side so we can see that ponytail. And then if you have a bow with no logos, those are typically okay. For men in our family-friendly projects, if you have a beard, make sure your beard is edged up with lines and edges. So add product to your beard to make it shine. If you are new to putting product in your beard, ask your local barber what products work best for your hair type. If you don't have a beard, make sure you're cleanly shaven. Everything should be cleanly shaven. All right. And if you do have a beard, don't shave it off unless production asks you to, but just let them know the length that it is, because sometimes the length varies. They're expecting someone with a big beard and you come with a short beard, or vice versa. So inform production of the length of your beard. If you don't have a beard, you need to be completely clean shaven, no scruff. And for hair for men, make sure your hair is fully styled. That means to add gel, mousse, or hair product, and your hair you should come to impress. Sometimes you might think, oh, I don't have to do anything with my hair. It's chill. No. If you have braids or dreads, men, you need to get them re-tightened up on the root, or learn to re-tighten your own roots with the correct product to tighten your roots. And make sure your hair is clean. Look at the back of it in a mirror and make sure there's no fuzz. For women, we typically ask for family-friendly products. Either your hair is down and curled, or it's down and blow-dried and flat iron straight. For makeup, for men, we ask that you do touch-up foundation for any blemishes, marks, or pimples. All right. So with film and TV, when you come to an in-person audition, there's no makeup team. You're the makeup team. You need to get touch-up foundation. You might be saying, well, what do I use? Go to your local Sephora. They're going to help you match your skin type, and you need to know what you need to use for touch-up. They'll help you with that. And then always wear chapstick. Make sure lips are not dry. Have chapstick in your pocket at all times and reapply in between takes. Boys, touch-up foundation to cover up any cuts or blemishes, and then wear chapstick as well. For boys, parents, please give them a little chapstick to keep with them as well. For girls can use lip gloss with a light color or chapstick. If they have a soft lipstick, you can also use that. But typically for girls, you don't want to see dark colors. We want something more natural. You can wear mascara and eyeliner. That's it for girls for our projects. For teens and women, you can wear full makeup. That means eyeliner, mascara, simple eyeshadow. Don't make it really strong, but a simple one. And then foundation. You can always add more, but you don't want to do too much. And then I would say a short lash for women, if you have them, to make your eyelashes stand out. If your lashes are long, I wouldn't recommend them. If your false lashes are long, I would not recommend those. Unless your character is specifically having that look. But I wouldn't recommend them for an in-person audition. So that is the in-person audition tips that I have for you. If you wanted some self-tape audition tips and to know how to prepare for a self-tape audition, you can click that video here. And we want to also invite you to our community. So the Multi-Hive community, where we support creatives who are multi-hyphenates. That means you might be an actor, producer, an actor, writer, a voiceover artist, actor, with those dashes and hyphens in between, and you wear a lot of hats. This community is for you. All right. Join our community where we support you within your goals. We have events, we have trainings. It's going to be a lot of fun. So join us at setonahill.com/join community. Join us in our next video, where we are going to continue to talk about the casting process, including on-set terminology. So join us on the next one. So great to be with you guys.